Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Thinking a New Thought, the podcast. My name is Juan and I am your host. I do live conversations almost every day on social media on all the different channels under the name Thinking a New Thought. And it's time that we branch off into a podcast. A lot of people have been asking for it, wondering if we have one. And I figure now it is the right time. So I want to tell you a little bit about what is Thinking a New Thought, who am I? First off, again, my name is Juan. Nice to meet you if you're new. Follow me everywhere at Thinking a New Thought. I am a Florida native, born and raised in Miami. I live close to Disney World, and I'm married for 5.5 years now to my husband who's from Brazil. My family is from Cuba, and that's a little bit about me. I love Kelly Clarkson unapologetically, and I like to have a lot of fun. I love to give joy and laughter and hope to people. I'm a self-proclaimed life coach. I will love to give you advice on things. And I've done the work. I've gone to therapy. I've gone to the counseling. I've gone to the events. I've done the life coaching myself. I've been life coached. And I created Thinking a New Thought based on the idea of what happens when you get somebody to go, I never thought about it that way before. I thought of Oprah. You guys remember when Oprah had the light bulb moment? She said you could see the shift in their eyes. You could see I never thought of it that before, that moment. And those were my favorite moments on early Oprah shows. And I was like, I love that. Can I do that? Can I be that for other people? Can I turn the light bulb on? And so I started doing Thinking a New Thought. Our conversations get a little intense sometimes. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, that wasn't the best way to say it. Sometimes I get a little loud. But it's all love. It's all heart. And at the core, the goal has always been to help people go, I never thought about it that way. And so this first episode, I am bringing to you a conversation that happened that left an impact on my soul. It was a very special moment to me where you could see the person go from the beginning where they were like, no, 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 no. And to the end where they were like, you really made sense. And now I'm thinking. I love it. It's one of my favorite conversations I've ever had. And I genuinely mean this. My goal, my expectation is not for people to come into my lives when I'm streaming and go, you changed my mind 100%. That's not realistic and highly unlikely. But if we can plant seeds and get people to go, never thought about it that way before, then we're helping people think new thoughts. And I think that if we do that, they're going to be kinder to other people. They're going to be better as humans on this earth. They might vote different. And they will be more loving to one another, to strangers, family members, and to themselves. And so welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the official first episode. Hope you'll follow me on all the socials and can't wait to hear what you think of this first episode.
I personally believe that if your child does end up to be LGBT, that would be a parenting problem. Because I also don't believe that
a parenting problem.
Correct. Because I don't believe
you can't
that
determine if your kid's gay or not. They either are or they aren't.
I disagree with that.
Well, you're wrong.
I disagree with how you're raising your child can definitely affect their.
No, I was raised in a straight household. We went to church. Nobody in my school was gay. We didn't have social media or cell phones. Everybody around me was straight. My father was anti-LGBT. Just like you sound like you are. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so then what made you the way you are now?
Because I'm attracted to the same gender, the same way you knew who you were attracted to without your parents' influence.
Okay, and when did you figure this out? Just in school?
When I was a child, the same age you were.
Okay, is this something that you had to test out? Did you ever try different gender, or is this you just immediately looked at a male and were like, oh, that's what I want?
So I knew who I was attracted to my whole life, the same way you know who you're attracted to the whole life. So Isaiah, were you young when you had your first crush on a girl?
Of course.
Did you go make out with a boy to test it?
Why would I do that?
Well, that's what you just asked me. You asked me, did I have to go make out with a girl to test it, or did I just know who I was? How come you're allowed to know who you are, but I can't know who I am?
Well, yes, as in, have you ever tried?
No, that wasn't. Don't pivot back to your question. My question to you was, have you ever had sex with a boy?
I said no, I have not.
Then how do you know you don't like it?
Because that's not in the basic human. That's
no. It's you don't know. You haven't tried it.
But it's not human nature. I know
it
that.
It's in my human nature.
It's not basic human nature, though.
What's nature mean?
Nature means something that was meant to be.
Nature means natural means occurring in nature.
Because you do realize that men were meant to intertwine with women, right? Therefore, it is not natural for a man to intertwine with a man or a
Who
woman to
says
intertwine with a
that?
woman.
Who decided this?
Just basic science. I mean,
Where in basic
it's
science?
just human. It's just human
Where
body
in
parts.
basic science does it say that?
It's just this is one of those things that's common sense.
Common sense and
There's
science
not going to
can't.
be a
No,
there's
no, no,
not
no.
going to be an article on common
Isaiah, hold
sense.
on, hold on. When I asked you where is it, and you said science, and I said where in science, you said common sense. Common sense is not part of science. Like, can you like stay on topic, dude?
I'm completely staying on topic.
You're not. What you asked me, and what I'm asking back to you is, you said to me, "Hey, did you ever like touch a girl, or were you sure of who you were?" And I threw it back to you. You were sure who you were, and you didn't have to touch a guy.
Of course, but again, like I stated, a man is meant to intertwine with a woman.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Go read. Go open a book. Go actually read peer-reviewed studies and read science before you start telling people who they are is wrong. I hope that your kid is straight for their sake, because if they're not, you're just going to not have your kid in your life as an adult.
That's completely not true as well.
Well, it is. There's nothing you can do
hold
to
on.
change. If they're gay, they're gay. There's nothing you can do to change that.
Okay, but hold on. There's a difference between supporting somebody and not supporting somebody. That has nothing to do with them being in your life or not, and that has
You're
nothing
going
to
to
do
not
with
support them, and they're going to still eat dinner with you?
Of course.
How does
Correct.
not supporting look like?
How do you think not supporting?
No,
looks
I'm
like? 'Cause
asking
right now,
you.
I'm assuming
Isaiah, stop throwing
not
questions back
supporting
at
to
me.
Not supporting to me means that I'm not going to support that side of them. But at the end
What
of
does
the day,
that
that's
mean?
still
Like,
my
so if they
child.
have a husband, can the husband come to dinner?
No.
So if you don't accept me and my husband, I don't accept you.
Again, if my child theoretically.
No, we don't start questions with again, because what you just did was ignore what I said. If you're not here to engage with conversation, get out.
I'm engaging in a
No,
conversation.
you're not. When I said something and your first word back is again, what that implies is I'm going to say what I wanted to say again, meaning you're not engaging because you're not responding to me. You're just continuing to ramble. If you do not accept your kid's husband in your home, your kid will no longer come to your home. That's how life works. Because when somebody's married, we are one. You accept us together or bye. Kind of like if someone said to you, I don't accept your wife. You wouldn't be like, "Well, honey, stay home. I'm going to go have dinner with him and then we'll talk later." You wouldn't go to their house anymore.
Okay,
Same thing for your kid. Your kid doesn't stay locked in because you birthed them. If you don't accept them, they will eventually depart from being a part of your life. And you're okay with that.
I personally disagree with that completely because
Well,
I
right,
understand
because
the
you're
part where-
arrogant.
I understand the part where whenever you say that if they're married, they may not come around, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to come around at all. That just means they're not going to come around as often.
No, like
or-
never again.
That's definitely not true.
Well, it is true.
promise you that's not true.
I don't see my father, and many people don't see their fathers. It is true.
That's
You
that
act
right
as if we don't have lived experience to talk about this.
We do, but you have to realize as well is whenever you don't support something, you're not supporting that exact thing they do. That does not mean
It's not a thing. It's not a thing that they do. It's who they are, and they can't change it. They can't change it, dude. It's not what they do. It's who they are.
There has been some LGBT people who have changed. That I don't know if you know that, but there has been.
I don't know if
some
you know
people
that.
who have.
Says the person who doesn't believe in science.
What does that have to do about science? What is you changing?
Because
what
you
like
don't.
in science?
Because if you don't read and you don't know statistics, you just say things. So to say there has been some people who have changed, are you talking about conversion therapy? Are you talking about religion? How did they change, Isaiah? Inform us.
Both ways. There's
Cool. So
there's
you
multiple
believe
ways
in
we can
conversion
change it.
therapy?
I don't believe in conversion therapy, but I do believe religion can be one way that may get.
What do you
some
do? You
individuals
pray it
changed.
away?
No, it's just once you start getting into a religion, you start realizing that
So
in that
how
religion,
come I was born Jewish, had a bar mitzvah, then later in life converted to Christianity, had a baptism, and the whole time I was gay?
that's why I said it's some, not all.
Right.
Are you still Christian or no?
I mean, I believe in God. I don't associate with Christianity because Christians are terrible in this world.
So you're just spiritual.
Sure.
Okay. So
But what I need you to hear is the ones that you're saying changed, they didn't change. They chose to suppress who they are. If I went right now and married a woman and lived a heteronormative lifestyle to please people like you, Isaiah, I'd still be gay. I'm just hiding it.
So, in other words, you're saying that no one's really changed. You're just saying that they're hiding.
Correct. If you're gay, you're gay. If you were attracted to men, it never goes away.
So then, my question to you is: if you're gay and you're gay, you're basically saying you're born gay or straight. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying our attraction develops naturally. I don't like when people say
Okay.
you're born because I don't think at the age of 0 you have an attraction. That's weird. But at the age where attraction develops, it develops naturally for all of us. So the
Okay.
same way you had no say in the matter of being attracted to girls, I had no say in the matter of being attracted to boys. It's the same thing.
Okay. So in the beginning, whenever this attraction began, do you know where it began? Did it begin in the brain? Did it? I mean, is it?
Everybody's attraction develops the same. I don't think we need to pinpoint the body part. It's just about it's natural. So when you looked at a girl, where did it start for you in the brain? Like the question is irrelevant.
It's not relevant at all because now the real question is: does this have something to do with brain chemicals? Does it have something to do? Because that's what I want to know now,
So go
so
read
we can
science
figure out
about
is
it.
it really
So
natural
go
or is
read
it something that?
science about it. If you really want to understand the brain and what leads to being LGBT and biological fixed traits and things of that nature, go get educated on it. Go read about it. That's a great thing if you actually want to do that. My concern is that you're going to go read the science on it. You're going to go read that it happens in our brain naturally, and you're still going to deny that science because you're so aggressively against it that you would still say, well, I know that's what science says, but nope, not my kid, without understanding you don't get to pick what's going on in your kid's brain.
So you're
You don't
saying
get,
as a father, if my child comes out gay, I should support them
there's
and
nothing you can do to change it.
but I'm asking the question. You're saying that I should support my child and their husband if they were to turn out gay. If it
Well,
was
that's what support looks like. If you deny supporting his relationship, then you do not support him. Support does not come with conditions, neither does love. So you can't say, I love you, but I don't want to see your husband. I support you, but not your husband. That's the lack of support and a lack of love. You cannot put conditions on love. Did Jesus say to you, are you Christian?
yes.
Okay, great. Did Jesus say to you, I love and accept you, but in order for you to get my love and acceptance, you have to be perfect? Or you have to meet any set of conditions? Does he ask you for any set of conditions to give you love?
No.
Because Jesus is unconditional love, right?
Correct.
And our job as Christians is to be like Jesus the best we can, right?
Correct.
So the moment you put conditions on your love, you are acting opposite of Jesus and therefore you're not honoring your own faith. Stop putting conditions on love. Your kid is going to be whoever they are. And that may be a lot of things that you weren't prepared for. And what I'd ask you to do is start to get educated now before the age comes. Because when your kid comes to you, and if they have the trust in you to tell you, Dad, I have a crush on a boy, what you say after that, how you react after that, affects your kid for the rest of his life. He will either feel so validated and know that his dad is safe and that no matter what's going on, he can come to dad. Or you will have rejected him. He will lie to you for the next 10 years, suppress who he is for the next 10 years, and he will eventually reject you. You have the choice in that matter.
Okay.
But if your kid comes to you and says, Dad, I have a crush on a boy, the only thing you should say is, hey, you're my kid. I love you no matter what. Like, thank you for telling me. And if you want to talk about it more, I'm here. And if you don't, that's okay too. But just know, like, I love you no matter what. I just want you
Okay.
to be a good person. Don't hurt other people. As long as what you're, what we were talking about is, just good things, you're my kid. I love you
So
because God teaches us to love our children.
of course, I completely agree with what you're saying. I understand that point of view completely.
So
I
anchor
think
back down into that and take away your own opinions because it isn't about you wanting your kid to be gay. It isn't about me not understanding as a parent. We should want our kids to be safe and have the easiest life possible. So if I had to choose on a bubble sheet, would I want my kid to be straight or gay? I'm going to pick straight because I don't want them fighting for their rights. I don't want them fearing for their life. I don't want bigots to hurt them. But I don't get to do that.
mm,
So if they are gay, I got to be their first line of defense, their first cheerleader, their safety. And most parents aren't, which is why I can tell you firsthand we had to lie about who we are for like a decade. And this whole coming out of the closet narrative, instead of just letting us be normal like everyone else. It's not that we're not normal, it's that people make us act like we're not. Instead of us just being able to be like when my sister had a crush on a boy, she didn't have to have an announcement. She didn't have to hide it. Why did I have to?
I agree on that end. As a father, if I was to end up supporting my child for being gay, how would I guess you can say mentally go with the fact that my child is not straight, if that makes sense.
How would you digest it?
Yes. So how am I meant to digest something like that without my child knowing I feel some type of way about it?
You need to stop feeling some type of way about it. And if you still do, you need to go to therapy and figure out why you feel some type of way about it. So that's your work that you have to do. You shouldn't put that on your child. So when you go to therapy and you say, I reject this, like I hate the idea of my kid being gay. How do I break that down? Where did that come from? Where did I learn that? Because chances are you learned a lot of that from your dad, from society, and from your religion. Those are three possible big culprits of you learning gay is bad. And so you adopted that belief and you never questioned it. Like most people don't question it. Why would you need to? You're straight. But the moment it hits you in your home, now everything you thought you knew changes. Because then you have a choice. Do I love my kid and show him that dad is love, which is what I believe in because that's what my religion teaches? Or do I teach him that everything I told him about God being our father and loving us without conditions was a lie? What example will I be for my son? Because even if you think it's wrong, you should still love your son the exact same way because it's not really up to you. But I would encourage you to break down why you think it's wrong. Where did that come from? Where did you first hear that? What did you absorb? Where did it come from? Because you know, Isaiah, this is the same thing that men have to do with everything: misogyny, racism, bigotry, sexism. You got to break all those things down. You're 18. Yeah.
Yes.
The older you get, the more you should really think about getting to therapy. And I don't say that in a mean way. All people need therapy.
Of course. I guess you could say like the main thing is, of course, religion, of course, influences my decision on, being straight. But then another thing I've always thought of is just the fact that, I mean, to me personally, in my point of view, I feel like men are meant to be with women just because that's also just how it works, like physically, generally. I
Because you
wouldn't
want them
think.
to have a baby.
I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking mainly because
Mhm.
reproduction as well. I mean, we have
Yeah.
to continue to reproduce.
So remember, part of that is selfish because you want to be a grandpa one day. And the second part of that is, let's just say your son is straight and he marries a woman and turns out your son is infertile. His swimmers are not strong enough to make her pregnant. Do you tell your son, hey, listen, you're going to have to divorce your wife because if you can't make her pregnant, you're not a man enough for her. You need to let her go and be with somebody who she can have a baby with.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Would you expect her to leave him for that reason?
No.
So you would want them to stay together,
Yes.
but they can't have a kid. So now what?
Not sure.
Yeah. But do you look at their marriage as less than because they can't have a kid?
Nope.
Should be the same for gay people. We can adopt, we can have a surrogate, and some people just don't want kids. And that's okay too. Everything in life is not going to look like what we want it to look like. You were taught as a young person, life looks like this: boy meets girl, boy meets girl, falls in love with girl, girl has baby, happy family, happy grandpas. This is what life is supposed to look like. It's not your fault that you were taught that is what life looks like. That is how life works. You didn't question it. And I think because we got you to slow down a little bit, you're at a point right now, which is why this page is called Thinking a New Thought. You've heard some things that you're like, made you question a little bit. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, you can say so. Yes.
That's a good thing, Isaiah. It's a really good thing. I only hope this when you leave this live today, you don't say, that was a great chat. But nah, he confused me. Sit with this. Sit with these thoughts, these seeds that were planted, and be like, man, he really made me think. And there's a lot of resources out there for you. Technology is in your hand. If you want to learn more, you can learn more. You want to watch scientists talking about this, you can. There's books about this. How do I navigate being a parent if my kid tells me that I'm gay? You should read those books, even if you don't know that's going to happen to you, because it just makes you a smarter person.
I understand. Honestly, just to be real with everything you did say, I am thinking about it different, and I am most likely also going to react different if the situation was to happen. I do think I would, of course, well, I would support my child, of course. I think that just the hardest part would be me having to cope with that on my own time, if that would make sense. And of course, that might sound a little selfish, and probably is a little selfish, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, as a father, of course, I'm always looking to, of course, be a grandpa one day. So losing out on that opportunity, of course, is going to make me feel some type of way. But I mean, if that's what it is, then it is what it is. There's not really
What
nothing I can do to change it.
Yeah, what I would tell you is you can work on that now before anything happens. And one of two things will happen. Either it'll happen and you'll be prepared, or it won't happen and you'll just have learned more. But you should want to break that down. How come I feel like this is about me? How come I feel like I should have a say in what my kid is, or what my kid is saying affects me? Because you don't know what's going to happen with your kid. Like, you really don't know. And we're just talking about the scope of LGBT, but there's a lot of reasons that I say you just don't know what's going to happen when you have a kid. We all want life to look picture perfect. It would be so great and easy if everybody could just be born perfect and no medical issues and no differences, and you just have a kid and happy, and I'm a grandpa and they have kids and they live in a good luck, kiddo. You got one on the way. You're 18. You got some work to do. And what I will say to you is bravo on being able to slow down and listen. Because most people, especially men at 18, they can't do that. So I'm proud of you, man to man, that you were able to do that. Because this is an important conversation. Big thing that I want you to really sit with is, if you are a Christian, hold on to what I said and really sit with, how does Jesus love me? And I'm going to tell you right now, and you said you're Christian, right?
Yes.
Okay. Isaiah, when Jesus is on the cross getting murdered and they're beating him brutally, what does he say? Do you remember? If you don't, it's okay.
No.
He says, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. Can you imagine somebody brutally hurting you and you saying, forgive them?
Nope.
If you were sitting in front of your father while they were taking your life, would you look at your father and say, Dad, forgive them? They just don't know what they're doing, while you're about to be unalived?
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Can you fathom the level of love that he has for us by saying, forgive the people who are taking his life? I'm telling you this because it's the moment in life. It's the literal second that I heard that while watching the movie Passion of the Christ that made me become a Christian. Because I said, if I can only try to be half as great, if I can only try to be half as compassionate, I'll never be able to achieve that. I couldn't, but I'll try. And I think that's pointing me in the right direction. I think if I try to be like that, if I try to be Christ-like, if I try to be that much of a forgiving person, I'm going to be better than if I didn't. So when you think of that in perspective and you think, no matter what my son says, no matter what my son does, I love him, because that's the only way. And if you reject that, you're not working to be Christ-like. And then I would say, so are you Christian?
course, right now I do know if like I said, if this scenario was to happen, I definitely would support my child regardless. Like I said, it was just the main thing about me having to suffer just kind of myself. And then another thing I kind of thought about while you were speaking about that is religion wise as well. How would that turn out as well? Because I know, of course, being gay whenever it comes to religion, is not acceptable in Christianity. So
Says
that's another
who?
thing
Says
is
who? I've been in churches my whole life. No one ever threw me out. I've sat in church next to my husband. No one's ever thrown us out. If somebody was to say to you, get your kid out of here, I would imagine you wouldn't be back at that church. Because
most
you're going to be
likely.
like, what do you mean you don't accept my kid? Because that's not what you're supposed to do as a Christian. Even if they think he's terrible and wrong and they're going to pray for him, they're not supposed to kick him out. But again, I've never been kicked out of a church. And I've been to many my whole life.
I would say you definitely did change my viewpoints on a lot of things with this conversation.
These conversations are really important. They're very special moments. We don't get a lot of them here. We get a lot of people who are just here to yell and scream and be stupid, and we just, we work through it. These moments, to me, is the reason I do this. Like, my heart is so full right now. Like, I'm so emotionally, like, charged right now. This is what the point of this page, and it makes me so happy because you have a child on the way, and if I could have had this much in that kid's life 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, being in a safer, happier home, knowing that his dad loves him instead of what me and a lot of my friends went through, I'm so grateful that you took the time, because if I could just have that much to do with that kid being able to know their dad loves them, then it's worth it.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you a lot as well for discussing everything. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. I just wish no kid would have to get through life or go through life and be in a home where they don't feel safe because of their dad. Because dads are important. They are. And it just would be such a different world if men slowed down to listen like what he just did. You know what I mean? It would just be such a different world. I don't even remember the start of our conversation, but I don't believe he was here on that wavelength. And then we got him there. We got him to slow down enough to hear it, and the whole dynamic shifted. I don't even remember what he said at the beginning because it didn't matter. And he went from one side to the other.
I love you.
That was a lot.
I know. You did amazing. You did so good.
It's really just like when you put yourself in the stance of the kid and you remember how terrifying it was for you. You're like, it shouldn't be this difficult.
It shouldn't. And
Like it's just
parents,
it's
it
just no
shouldn't.
different. Like